What's up, fam? It's Dr. O here. It's been a while since I posted. I've been underground finishing up my manuscript for my book, Lies About Black People, How to Combat Racist Stereotypes and Why It Matters. But I've submitted it to the publisher, so I'm excited and I can come up for air a little bit and share some thoughts on everything going on in the world or some thoughts on some things. And I've been thinking a lot about Kyrie as well as Kanye and also I will say Amazon as well. So let's start here. First of all, I think it's really important that not because of anything having to do with our career or losing endorsements or anything like that, that it's important to really make sure that we're condemning ignorance and hate wherever we see it. The fact of the matter is, black people are the number one target for hate crimes in this country, followed by Jewish people. And as the head of the ADL said, Jewish people are the number one target for religious based hate crimes in America. So, really, at the end of the day, we have to do more to work to create communities where everybody can be celebrated and not tolerated. And when you look at what Kanye and Kyrie did, even though there are things that are separate from what they said, there's one thing that is kind of similar. And one thing that I find is similar is that there's not a real concern for other communities in terms of how they feel. One thing that Kanye West said, in addition to his comments, which I found to definitely be anti-Semitic, he said in the Drinks Champs interview that, and this comment really showed a lot about his character. He said, Adidas can't fire me for whatever reason that they have their deal. He said, they can't fire me, so what are you going to do now? And what that said to me is that he felt like he could be so powerful that he can say whatever he wants. And look, I don't care how much money I make, if I become a billionaire, how much influence I have, if I become a president or senator or head of some super multinational company or whatever. There's no amount of money or power that I can attain that's going to make me feel comfortable in just wanting to spew out hate towards a particular group. And that's just a reflection of bad character. And it really shows a lot about who you are. And I've seen this all across the world, including in the United States historically. People who come into power or get power just so they can say whatever they want or they can oppress whoever they want, especially other groups who they feel oppress them historically because of their ethnicity, their religion, race, whatever. That's a problem. And Kanye made a big mistake in doing that, in addition to many of his other things, like disrespecting the family of George Floyd by saying he knows what it's like to have the knee on his neck. Just the fact that you're able to breathe and say that now when George Floyd can't just shows a level of disrespect. And it's a real problem. One of the things I said in one of my posts was that we can't just be comfortable with anti-Blackness that comes from Black people. We have to work to condemn that as well. We made Kanye before they paid Kanye, because at the end of the day, a lot of these artists come out of our community and they grow up in our circles and we support them. But we have to be at a point now where we can't. Some of us have said, oh, now they're going at Kanye because he said something about Jewish people, but we have nothing to say about his anti-Blackness towards Black people. But I'm more concerned about Black people taking a stand against anti-Blackness, especially if it's coming from members of our own community. Because I've definitely been the people who want part of the group who said, why has he not been called up for his anti-Blackness? But a lot of artists are in that category as well. So I'm just saying we have to do better as relates to that. When it comes to Kyrie, we see a situation where he kind of feels like he's the smartest person in the room. And I respect the fact that he said we need to be paying more attention to things that are happening in the Black community and giving that more media coverage. Absolutely. I definitely appreciate his stand and respect for protesting, for getting people like Brittany Griner released, as many people, everyone throughout the NBA has done, as well as doing things like helping sisters out during with the WNBA in terms of paying salaries. He's done a lot of good activism as it relates to the Black community, and some things we probably will never even know about. But when you start saying things that are disparaging towards other communities and you find that they're hurtful, you got to recognize that they're wrong. You're not living their experience. And no group is a monolith, but we know that there's so much hate and ignorance targeted towards a particular group, and you're sharing out something that they find hurtful. Recognize that, unless you just don't care. And you talked a lot about, I know where I'm from, well, if you know where you're from and you want to talk about compassion and humanity, show that towards other groups. And if you feel like something is wrong, just recognize that. This is how we work to build common humanity. We see what these MAGA Republicans out there, they're working on building a society where they can tear people down. They never back down. They never apologize, regardless of how much power and influence they have. The lowest level one, all the way up to Trump, are out there putting people down. And if you're not part of that in any way, shape, or form and have love for humanity, Kyrie, then be about that. Be about that. And when you're putting out these things, you can't say my tweets are not endorsements when you have a following like you do. Anybody who tweets out something, even if they have my tweets are not endorsements, are endorsing something by putting it out. which leads me to Amazon. I'm not surprised, because particularly when it comes to black entertainers or black people in general, there's usually more flack pointed at the individuals rather as opposed to the organizations that support, that put them out there. Like with hip hop, how many people, I mean, I have and other folks have, but how many people have actually spent time targeting the record labels that put out much of the misogyny and homophobia and anti-Blackness that we consume in our music? How many of us even know who they are? But when we see the rapper, we see the actor doing something, it's very easy to target them and just call it a day. We love pointing the fingers at black individuals, but my question is, why is there no smoke for Amazon? I went on Amazon right before I posted this video, right before I recorded this video, and the book and film that Kyrie tweeted out are #1 bestsellers right now. Amazon also sells white privilege cards, as well as some other things, some Aryan Nation stuff, some Confederate racist stuff as well. They're selling that. Where's our anger and ire devoted towards them? And I've been an investor in Amazon, I'm calling out Amazon, no doubt about it, because right now they're profiting off of that book and film that everybody has condemned as being anti-Semitic and hateful and hurtful. I have not watched it. I definitely plan to, but the people who have, and members of the, leader of the ADL and so on and so forth, I believe what people are saying as it relates to aspects of it that are hurtful and all of that, and I'll have a stronger opinion of it when I actually watch it myself. But the fact of the matter is that there's enough in it that is making people feel a particular way. And that needs to be recognized. So why isn't Amazon taking it down if that's the case? Why are you able to buy Trump white privilege cards and other things? We can't. Is anyone having any target, any smoke for Bezos at all? I haven't seen every post, but I haven't seen it. And, Jay Williams brought this up on ESPN as well. So are we too invested in Amazon? We just depend on it so much that we can't feel like we can call it out? That makes us hypocrites. That makes all of us hypocrites if we're not going to say anything and do anything about it. So look, I'm first in line with everybody who is out there condemning anti-Semitism. But we can't just point at individuals and call it a day. We have systems and structures in place that keep anti-Semitism going, that keep racism going, that keep Islamophobia going, and transphobia and homophobia and all of these issues and sexism. We have systems in place that maintain them. And if we're not going to do real work to fight these things and work to be part of the solutions, and as opposed to part of the problem, if we're only going to just point fingers at individuals and make them do whatever that's to our liking, but without calling out the institutions that help put out that are still actively profiting off of these things, then we are hypocrites. We are not upstanders, we are bystanders. And so let's call it all out, America. Let's call it all out wherever you are in the world. We can't just talk about it, we got to be about it. And we can't just put the onus on one person and think it's going to make a change. We can call them out, suspensions and lose deals and all of that. I'm all good with all of that. Those things should happen. But there are other areas at play that we need to, if we're serious, I'm just saying, if we're serious, we should also do the work to challenge if we want to work and build those communities where everybody can be celebrated and not tolerated. Peace.